My name is Mike Otto Deutsch. This is my Evo chopper. Robert Rouserworks Galan and Bill Barnacle Bryant pieced this thing together with a little direction from myself, my friend Pete Hot Dog Finland, and his helper Troy painted it at their shop right up the street. I originally wanted to use the Evo motor out of my FXR, so I took that over to Rico Fadri of High Bond Modified fame and dropped that off. Once he disassembled that motor, he told me the cases were junk, so we called our buddies over at S&S Cycle and they sent me a nice new set of Evo cases. Took those again over to Rico and he built up this little 80-inch Evo motor. It's running an S&S carburetor. It's got a Dyna S ignition on it. And in the back behind that, there's just a RevTech transmission 4-speed that was out of another bike I had for a minute. My friend Wargasser Nick, his day job is working at Tesla. He built these split Sportster tanks for this thing. That was kind of Rob's idea, to have a split Sportster tank for a little bit of added capacity and something that's a little bit different. I got this oil bag from Nick a long time ago too, and so he built that bag and the mounts for that. This is a pretty nice bike. It came out real good, so of course we had to have a fitting seat, and that means Dwayne Ballard was called up to make the seat. He came over, we made the pan out of fiberglass, made a big mess, got real high. Dwayne took the seat to his house and covered it in some sweet leather and some fancy ornate stitching. Trailer fender in the back, they're strong. There's nothing special about them except, you know, they're strong and they match the radius of this tire real well. So Hippie Killer Cuddy got some louvers punched in it for me. We've been buying parts for a long time now from Drag Specialties, so there's a lot of little stuff on this bike that's hard to see. That all came from the Drag catalog. And we've been running the Drag fluids, the oil and transmission lube for a long time, and that stuff's been really good to us. You know, whatever your budget is, they seem to make a part or carry a part that will help fit in that budget. So this bike, the Drag catalog list is as tall as I am. Barnacle Bill Bryant bent up the sissy pole. It's we hung a Biltwell tail light on the back with the Biltwell license plate mount back there too. Biltwell bars, Biltwell grips. I've been running Metzeler tires on my motorcycles for over 10 years now. I'm running Metzeler tires on these. These are the Metzeler Marathons 888s. So that's what came after the 880s, and I got a lot of miles on those 880s, and these ones are even a little bit better. So I'm happy to have real tires on this bike. We're gonna ride this thing through Alaska. So for me, I wanted the bike to be serviceable anywhere. I grew up, my dad, we always had Volkswagens. They were never fancy or fast, but he always wanted them to be something we could fix on the side of the road if we needed to, you know, and I kind of think this bike needs to be the same way. It's got breakers instead of fuses. There's not a whole bunch of wiring. It's got a simple key switch. You can get to damn near everything pretty easily. It's a stock rake and stock stretch frame that Spartan George made out of Tucson, Arizona. I think it looks really good, and I'm real excited to have something, you know, handmade by a guy that's been building choppers and Springer front ends for a long time, you know. So this bike was built to be ridden up through Alaska. Bill decided we're gonna ride up to the Arctic Circle. I always tell Bill when we're on a ride that we need to stop and dunk our junk. And so he's kind of taken that to the extreme, and we're gonna hop in the water in the Arctic Circle and dunk our junk. But because of that, you know, this bike's put together real simply, and I'm looking forward to riding it through some challenging areas. I've never been to Alaska, so to me, I'm looking forward to just some wide open spaces. I know there'll be difficulties on the road. There always is when you're traveling, but somewhere like that, that's that remote, you know, we're gonna have to overcome that stuff with whatever we decide to bring up there and pack in our chase vehicle. Something I think will be challenging. I think the weather will be obviously, you know, something that we got to worry about, but I know there's a lot of gravelly dirt road, and to me that stuff looks like lapping compound, you know, so I have a feeling that stuff's going to eat up chains and belts and gears a lot more than maybe we know. And if you're riding a chopper, a lot of that stuff's exposed, and it's gonna get in there and it's gonna make a mess of stuff. So I got a feeling we're gonna run through some chains and some gears, and we'll probably get real good at changing belts too. But it's not a big deal. Guys have been riding motorcycles all over the world a lot longer than I've been alive, so I know it can be done. And doing it with a bunch of friends that we've got some time on the road with before, I think that makes it fun. You know, we've got a pretty tight pack of guys and girls that we know can take care of their own stuff. They bring a little bit to the mix. Most of them are pretty funny and good spirited, and it'll be fun to be on the road with these kind of people. You know, that's the part that's not unknown to me. I've traveled with a lot of these guys already, and I'll be real honest, Rob's as handy as he is in some areas, he is a pain in the butt in a lot of areas. You know, if you don't have the right mustard or the right coffee or the right water for that coffee, or if that coffee wasn't boiled at the right temperature, he's going to be real upset, and you don't want your mechanic upset at you, I can tell you that much. So for me, the hardest part of going to Alaska is going to be Rob Rouser.